Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. Hey, I've been here for 2 hours. Where am I? Nacogdoches, Texas. Been a hell of a day. The last few hours I was getting to be a pretty grumpy old fart. I sat there and chilled out a little bit. Got a bite to eat. Watched few videos on YouTube, all Facebook type stuff. Some pretty good feel-good stuff that I like. Put me in a lot better mood, just calming down and all that. Thought I'd give you the rest of the story. I was telling you last night where left the house last night, got up there, waiting to deliver my load. Let's see. I guess it was right at 7:30 when they decided they'd unload me. And I couldn't leave until like 7:45. About 10 to 8, I was ready to roll. They had got their stuff off. I had to tailgate it, 10 pallets. About 20,000 pounds more or less, maybe a little over. I could look, but it don't matter, it's irrelevant. Ran over to get the other one off, got it off. By 9 o'clock, a little before 9 o'clock, I'd kicked off the first two, hit the Loves there in Greenwood, topped off my tanks, and I was shagging butt. I was doing the math. The 2 o'clock just wasn't going to work. Well, I let the company know. And basically they didn't do nothing. They said they called my receiver or my shipper and all that. I don't know. I wound up getting to my shipper at 3:30. I did get loaded. It took them 2 hours, but I did get loaded. Actually, it was over 2 hours. Load didn't feel right, felt a little heavy. Sure enough, I was 560 pounds over on my drives. I done shrunk up all I could shrink up. The 2 Texas scales were closed, thank you. So I should be able to drive it off the majority of the weight before I hit Oklahoma. Shot a message to dispatch about being overweight. No response. It don't. And seeing that's the stuff that was aggravating me. You know, I loaded at HEB. I loaded plastic, to go to recycle. HEB, as many loads as you guys load, and you can't load the shit right? Really? And my dispatcher not responding, it's kind of aggravating. And I understand. I mean, I make excuses for people. I understand it's after hours and he wants to have a life and blah, 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 blah. But trucking goes on. Trucking's not an 8 to 4:30 job for the drivers. And to me, they're supposed to be our support team. They're the ones that are supposed to help figure out issues. Not that there's a whole lot to do. That department at HEB was leaving. They wound up staying a little bit late to load me. However, the golden rule is if you don't put the monkey on dispatch's back, then if you get an overweight ticket, then you wind up paying the ticket. And I don't want to pay the ticket. I want him to acknowledge that I've got a weight issue so that the company can pay the ticket. Although in this day and age of the CVS scores and all that nonsense, if I get a ticket, I'll still get points. So I damn sure don't want to get points and cost me money. So this little nonsense, and that's all it really is little nonsense. But on some days, that little nonsense just keeps building up and building up and building up and turns you into a grumpy old fart. It does me. So I sat here and chilled out a little while. Had a couple of them damn microwave dinners just because I was being lazy. I don't know if you can see or not. This is Hormel beef pot roast. I wasn't impressed, but I keep some of them in here once in a while just for times like tonight when I don't feel like pulling with him. Hell of it is, I got some chili back there and I got some Fritos back there. I could have done Frito pie. I got that real roast in the icebox that Mama had cooked. You know, I got some bologna and pepper jack cheese, which I like bologna. Don't want a steady diet of it every day. Been there, done that. But bologna sandwich don't bother me every so often. Matter of fact, had one earlier today. But like I said, I was getting to be a grumpy part. Tired, hungry, aggravated. And damn, how long you cops gonna be? Cops are over here harassing some kids. They appeared to be drunk, at least one of them did. I hope he wasn't driving. But yeah, that's part of trucking, ain't it? We get running so hard trying to make the day work out, and you don't get a chance to eat. And you know, I had breakfast this morning. I grabbed something when I fueled. And when I finally got to that shipper at 3:30, I had me a bologna sandwich and some pork and beans. You know, and then here it is. It was well after 9 when I finally stopped here and ate this. So it ain't like I was starved today, don't get me wrong, but I was getting hungry. And I was getting aggravated, so one of them things. Something that I have to fight. I really do, because like I told you before, I used to have a real bad temper. The old devil, he gets in my head and starts working on these little things like this and trying to build them into something big and get that old temper of mine. I got a pretty good Irish temper, and every so often I have to just put it in check. And this was one of them days. And it ain't like dispatch really did anything all that bad, and you know, and it just wasn't a terrible day, but in my head it was, which that's where you hear some of the drivers telling you, you know, the windshield miles, too much time in your own head can be a scary place. So then while I was talking to Mama, we kind of distracted my mind and started talking about the farm and the house and some stuff we could do there. Talked to Michael today. We got talking about the weed eater situation I was telling y'all about. And he says, dude, go get a real good one and I'll split the cost with you. Alright, cool. You know, he's going to be wanting to use it over there on, that's how we got a good mower. You know, we teamed up on it. That's cool, you know, and he's saying, hey, let's do the same thing with a weed eater. Let's just get a big killer weed eater and probably go get a Stihl. I hope I can steal a Stihl or get a Stihl deal on a Stihl. So, when I was talking to Mama and told her he had said this, and she was like, you ain't going to Lowe's and getting one of them. Well, I've never had good luck with gas weed eaters, but I've always bought the cheaper ones because I've always been a poor man. So, and that's what I told me and Michael discussed, because he's been in the same boat, so to speak. And he's like, look, if you buy a decent cheap one and I buy a decent cheap one and we put that money together, we can get a good one. I said, works for me. You know, I'll throw $150, $200 in the pot, and he throws $150, $200 in the pot. That's $300 to $400 for a good steel weed eater. And see, we want one that has that skill saw blade on it, you know, the circular blade. So y'all have seen the videos of what we're dealing with, and we want to get one of them and see if that don't just go to town on some of them weed issues we got out there. But anyway, I'm much gooder now. Like I said, I sat here and chilled out a little bit. That's why I've waited so late to make this video. I didn't want to get on here just being a whole grumpy thing. And didn't want to get on here having a pity party or none of that. I wanted to get my head right. Bright side is the cops are harassing them kids over there and not me. That's a good day. See, I'm going to bed, not to jail. Silver linings. You gotta look for them. Hey, y'all. Just another day in trucking. So, and if you out here, you've had these kind of days. If you're thinking about coming out here, you will have these kind of days. If you're not out here, I bet you've had them at your own workplace. We call this life. If it was easy, we wouldn't call it work. We'd call it playing, huh? Y'all, have a good day. Remember, God loves you, and so do I. Good night.